Hi everybody, my name is Arafin and I hope you're having a wonderful day. This video is going to be your friend in starting your adventure with Manor Lords. A good start in Manor Lords is crucial, and with this video I hope to give you that. The first thing you should do when starting a new game is to check out your location. The game will put you in one of those regions that you can see here when you scroll out. It will choose a region more or less randomly. So if you are not really happy with the region you got, you can always start the game again and hopefully you will get a different one. So just keep that in mind. And as you can see, we have some resources here. You always have access to all of the resources. So you always have clay, you always have iron, you have a berry deposit, you have a wild animals resource deposit, you have a place where they live here, and you have a stone deposit. And as you can see, some of those resources are a rich deposit, so they are just bigger than a usual deposit that is not rich. What is a good region to start? Well, at the beginning, food production is an important part, so having a rich berry deposit, as in this case, is actually quite great. Rich wild animals deposit is also good, but not as much. When it comes to food production, at the beginning, the berries are gonna be your friend when it comes to feeding your people. Rich stone, not that great. If you want to create an industrial region, produce a lot of weapons, armors, and stuff like that, and sell it maybe, then a rich iron deposit would be great. Rich clay and stone are probably the least important ones. So yeah, these are the resources and how you should look at them basically. Now, you should think about where to start building. So you want to be close to the resources, but you want to have some place for your settlement, of course. So at the beginning, I would probably go a little bit closer to the berry deposit. But then we will probably just build where we are. You have your resources here. So building close to this place helps with just getting the building done faster. You don't want to build anywhere in the area where wild animals are living. This red circle is off limits basically. So it is a little bit problematic for us that the wild animals are so close here. And we have a stone deposit here, so not the greatest start, but I guess we can live with that. We're gonna build mostly to the north and not that much here to the south, I guess. So yeah, these are the things that you need to pay attention to when checking your location and when to start the village. If you want to start in a different place than here, for example, right? You want to maybe, I don't know, start here. You can do that as well. It's not gonna be as easy because the resources are gonna have to travel all the way to this location, but it is doable. So if you want to do that, go ahead, but I would probably just start the game anew and maybe hope for a better location. The main goals of the early game are to have some timber production. So you need to build a logging camp. You need some food production, so hunting camp or forager hut for getting berries and getting meat and hides from wild animals respectively. You need firewood production, and this is an important distinction. Timber that is created out of trees that you have all around you is strictly a building resource. It's not used for heating up homes, it's just used for building. Firewood here that is produced in a woodcutter's lodge is a resource used for heating up houses. and you're gonna need that when you will have your first houses built. You also need a market. You need to set up a market for people to create their stalls so they can, well, not give, but distribute the resources that your village is producing, your settlement is producing. So first things first, you need to build a road. So you use that little tool here, and you need to connect your road to the main King's Road, as it is named in the game. If you don't do it for some reason, the game will tell you that there is no connection to the King's Road. It's a problem. And then you can see what's happening and what went wrong. Sometimes the game will give you that information, and it may be a bug. The game is still in early access, so try to keep that in mind. But then usually just putting the building again in a different place, or just getting the roads a little bit longer, it usually helps. So it's not a big problem, to be honest. So let's start the road. Let's connect it to the place where we have the resources for now. The roads are built for free, and they are built immediately. So you don't need to worry about that. You can really plan your village however you like when it comes to this roads creation. So we don't want to really cut the trees here as well. We maybe want to cut those trees here and maybe build the village out there. So first thing, timber production. We need to build a logging camp, and we're gonna start with that. We want to build it close to the trees, so maybe let's build it here, right? Okay, so now people will go to actually build that. And the building is done by the people, and the resources are carried by these oaks that you can see here. So now it's going to take them a little bit of time to actually build that. But the oaks is the bottleneck for building and moving some of the goods. So a very good idea at the beginning is to actually get an additional oaks, and you can get it in the logistics part. So we can build another hitching post basically and order another oaks, and that would probably be the second building that I would recommend you to build, and maybe build it close to the logging camp actually, because transporting that timber requires an oaks, and at some point you will be building and you will be producing timber, and while having one oaks you cannot do it at the same time. You need two basically. It really speeds up the whole process of starting your village. So I would say that's the second thing that you want to build, so they really should start doing that quite soon. And now we have the logging camp built, but nobody is working there. Manor Lords has a system of not really assigning workers per se, but in a way it does. It's more assigning families. So we have right now 5 families, if I remember correctly at the beginning. Yes, 5 level 1 families, 10 population total. So you want to assign 1 family to that, maybe even 2 immediately. So they start getting that wood chopped, and as we said, we don't really want them to cut down the trees where the animals live. So you can actually select the area where they're gonna be walking. So we can limit it. You can make it bigger. So let's do it like that. And let's tell them to just cut the trees here. So the animals will not get disturbed. The resource will not get affected by that. They're gonna build the oaks post pretty soon, I hope. Okay, they did that already. And now you have an option to order another oaks. And it will cost you 20 regional wealth. That is well worth it. So let's do that. And another point in our early game goals is to build some housing. So we have 5 families, and you may think, okay, let's build 5 houses, but in order for another family to move into our village, we need actually an empty house. So we need an empty house and an approval rating above 50. So you don't want to build 5 houses really, you want to build 6 houses. You want to have always an empty house for a family to move in. Unless you don't really want them to move in. You don't want your settlement to expand at this particular time, let's say. Not early game, but later on, maybe, for some reasons. So, let's build some houses now. And you just select how big the plots are gonna be for those houses. And you need enough resources as well. We don't have that much timber right now. But we should be... Oh no, we have just 6 probably, right? Yes, so we can start building those 3 houses. And as you can see, we have an indication where the houses are gonna be. And we have an indication where the extension's gonna be. So we can decide how big they are gonna be. The size of the extensions is important only in 2 cases. When you will choose an extension that is an orchard or a vegetable plot. So at the beginning, not really something you're gonna do, so we can just make them small. It doesn't really matter that much. And maybe let's do it a little bit further away, right? Too much. Okay, let's do it like that. You can also make it so you have, for example, 2 plots that have 1 main house and one additional house that you need to build on later on. I would advise against it at the beginning. It is buggy with the second house sometimes, so let's just do it normally. 3 plots, 3 houses, and now we wait. Now we wait for our people to build it. We want those 6 houses to be created, so let's give them some time. Let's do that, and I will see you in a second. Okay, so our houses are built. We have the first 6 houses. Our approval rating went down a little bit because of the homelessness, but not that much, so it's not that punishing. And what do we need now? We need to start food production. And at the beginning, your main sources of food will be the berries, and additionally the hunting camp. The hunting camp has no construction costs, so it's always good to build it. And the closer we build it to the wild animals, the better. So let's do it just here. It's gonna be fine. And we want to build the forager hut as well. for people to get those berries. And berries are a seasonal deposit. So we want during autumn and winter, they're not going to be available. So we want to stack up on them at the beginning of the year. And let's build the forager hut as well. Maybe let's extend the road a little bit here. And let's build that as well. Okay, the forager hut and the hunting camp are finished. And we need to remember that we have to assign a family to walk in those particular buildings, in all of the buildings. So we have enough timber right now. Let's get one family off of that. Let's get one family to the hunting camp. And the hunting camp has a limit of how many animals should be left in the wild animals deposit. You never want to go below 10, in my opinion, to be honest. You can kill the deposit completely. You can just kill all the animals. They're not going to reproduce. 10 is a good number to have. In this case, maybe even 11, 12. But let's keep it that way. At the beginning, we want one family at least for now to be in the forager hut as well. And we have 2 unassigned families. Well, maybe 2 people in the forager hut for now. And we want to start firewood production right now and to set up a market. Maybe let's start with the market because we are already producing some food. And in order to get the things that you produce to your people, you need a market. So we need to set that up. Where was that exactly? Oh yes, here, marketplace. So we need basically to create a spot for people. Do it just like that. Right now, it doesn't really matter where your marketplace is. Well, it matters a little bit. It matters that it is close to the sources of your resources. That sounded funny. And close to the logistic hubs that we're gonna build as well in the future. So your storehouse and your granary. Those should be close to the marketplace. The houses, however, don't really need to be. It helps a little bit, I guess, but when you click on a house, you can see that you have fuel supply, food supply, clothing supply. The houses closest that are close to the marketplace, and get those first. So the further they are later on supplied with those particular things. But it's not like somebody is walking from the marketplace, or from the houses to the marketplace. It kind of happens automatically. So keep that in mind. You don't really need to put all the buildings really close to each other, but they do look nice this way. So the marketplace is set up right now, and people from your buildings will eventually start creating stalls here for distribution of goods. Oh, as you can see, already a food stall is being produced. And it is probably being produced by somebody who's walking, yes, in the forager hut. So the food distribution will start to happen pretty soon. But now that we have houses, we need firewood. So people will heat up their houses. They will be using that. Food and firewood are the main resources that the houses use on a regular basis. So we do need to build a woodcutter's lodge. And it's gonna be cutting trees as well. So putting that close to the logging camp is actually not a bad idea. So let's maybe put it, well, here as well. Why not? We're gonna need to connect it with a road. Putting the woodcutter's lodge close to the logging camp helps with one particular thing. As you can see, we are cutting those trees. Pretty soon, it's gonna be just earth here. No trees whatsoever. So later on, we will build a forester hut for people to plant new trees here, basically. But right now, when we don't have that much families, that much workforce, is not our main problem. So in the future, yes. Let's give our people a little bit of time to finish the woodcutter's lodge, and I will be back in a second. The woodcutter's lodge is built, and we could assign the one left family, the one family that is unassigned right now, to work here, but you need at least one unassigned family to build anything. So consider that one family your builders, basically. We don't need more timber right now, so let's maybe get those assigned to work in the woodcutter's lodge. And in a similar way, we want to pick the area where the trees will be cut in this situation. And yes, these are the most important things you need to build at the beginning for your settlement to start well, basically. We need to build a well as well for people to have some water. So that would be the next thing, basically. But we have all the important things done for a good beginning in Manor Lords. The next things for you should be to go through basically the requirements for buildings to get to level 2. So building the church, building some clothing supply. So in this case, probably leather would be the easiest way for us to get that. So we will use the hides that are produced in the hunting camp, and we would create a tannery, basically. And yeah, just make sure you have enough houses for your people to move in. And with having those 5 houses on level 1, you have an access to the development portion of the game. So we already have some points that we can use and spend. And a good question is, what should we choose, basically? Well, if you are just starting and this is your first playthrough, probably getting more food will be good. Beekeeping is actually not a bad idea, especially if you get advanced beekeeping and you get wax that you can sell later on, or getting for forest management and getting more berries. Trapping, pellet extraction, not really worth it. Trade logistics used to be quite good. Don't go for foreign suppliers. It is tempting to get that food and that firewood, but you need to pay for it. And at the beginning, you don't have money. So don't really go for that. Farming is something that you're gonna do much later on. It's more like a mid-game thing. And here you have an industrial part. So maybe if you have rich iron deposits, this is a good place to go. And a crucial thing, if you want to set up an industrial settlement, a crucial thing for you to go is deep mining. It will make so your rich deposits, so clay or iron, only those two are affected by this particular perk, will not get depleted. So you have unlimited iron, unlimited clay that you can then sell. So if this is your first playthrough, I would probably go for this. Keep in mind that later on you will settle in different regions and they would have different development points, and you can make an industrial region somewhere else, for example. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, this is basically how you start the settlement in Manor Lords. The most important things are done. You have your food production, you have your firewood production, you have your timber production. The market is set up. People will get the food they already have. And with time, more people will move into your settlement. So if this guide helps you in any way, please leave a like, comment, subscribe for more gaming related content. It helps my channel a lot and I appreciate it very much. And yeah, I wish you good luck and a lot of fun with Manor Lords. And have a good day. Bye.